All right, so continuing onward, the operator deck was pretty straightforward. So before you put you don't want to have the cover on that goes here before you put the operator deck on. And basically what you're going to do is put the deck on an angle. You're going to put the deck on an angle like this and then come in like that, and it'll go on pretty easily. Now, the deck is held in place by 6 bolts, 3 on each side, 1 in the front, 1 here, and 1 here. Now, this bolt and this bolt have square shanks that'll hold themselves. This one doesn't. It's 12 millimeters on the top, 13 on the bottom, and that's the bolt. This bolt here mounts through this aluminum frame. This bolt here just kind of holds the fender from vibrating and holds it in place. This bolt here bolts to the subframe. They call it a step stay. I guess it makes the step stay in place. So that's what the engineers called it. You know, it's just a reinforcement bar that comes out from the frame over to here. It's got some, it's got a vertical piece here and horizontal piece there, and it just holds it in place. Now, I already put the forward and reverse pedals in place. They're held on by 2 bolts. I think what I'm going to do, 2 nuts. I think what I'm going to do is in the next step, of course, would be to put the mat down for the tractor. But I think the best thing would be not to have these on and then just shove them through the mat from the top and then down. I just wanted to kind of make sure I understood what I was doing here, and yeah, it's coming back together well. Again, 3 bolts on this side, same as on the other. 1 in the front, 1 that bolts to the step stay, and 1 that holds the fender to the operator platform. So I'm going to remove these 2 again here. I didn't even tighten them down. I just put them in place. Pretty easy. Tell you what I did do. This brake pedal, the brake pedal was up pretty high, and it was interfering with putting the operator panel on. So what I did is I took a tie wrap, a zip tie, whatever you want to call it, and held it down, held it in the down position using this, that's the lever that lifts the mid-mount mower. So what I'm going to do is the forward pedal and the reverse pedal hook to the same, they use the same 2 bolts. The reverse pedal is in the back, and the forward pedal is outboard the furthest, and it's just held on by these 2 screws. Pretty easy. Yeah, I'm just gonna, I might have screwed that one in tighter than I thought. It's only hand tight, but I guess I can tighten better than I can loosen. So, and they just slide on. There's the sheds on. There's a plate. I'll remove that here real quick. It's kind of a pain to fish these things through. A real pain. Might even be easier to come out the bottom. There you go. The back one isn't so bad. It comes straight off and up and out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the mat on. The mat is held in place by plastic rivets. I bought new ones. I think there's 10 or 11 of them. I couldn't figure out how to get them out without damaging the rivets, so I just put new ones in there. I'll quote the prices on the parts that I had to buy in the description, or maybe I'll even do a video of that portion. And I'm going to let this tied on here for now and see how putting the floor mat goes. So I'm going to pause the camera and then we'll go ahead and put the floor mats on. We're getting pretty close to getting ready to fire this thing up, so I'm getting excited. If you can hear it in my voice. All right, I'm right back with you. The mat was real easy to put on. Just kind of the biggest part is just putting the brake pedal through there. And now what's going to happen, there is, boy, that bulges up a lot there. Anyhow, everywhere there's a hole in the mat, we get a rivet. So I don't understand why that protrudes so high. And you know, oh, it's not that. It's the metal there seems to be bent up a little bit. I don't recall bending that. Let me bend that down. Maybe I bent it, putting it back in. So anyhow, it just pushed down. It's fairly thin metal, but quite adequate for the job that it does. You know, that's not a place where you're going to weight bearing. Put the pedals back down through, the forward pedal and the reverse pedal. And then I think I'll put the cover on around there. It's 2 halves. You got 2 halves here, 1 half there, 1 half on the other side. And I've got the hardware in a baggie here on the floor. So that's all good to go in a minute. And then it's on to finishing with the bonnet. So putting the reverse pedal on is fairly simple. You just turn it sideways and then twist it, and it goes right down in. Fairly straightforward. The go pedal, the front pedal, forward pedal, is going to be a little more difficult because there's more stuff up there to get around. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this back, feed it down through there, and twist it, turn it, and put it onto the 2 studs there that provide the connection to the system. So, all right, thought I'd just show you. The reverse pedal is super simple, and the forward pedal just a little more difficult, but quite doable. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Went down to the dealer, picked up the part that I put on order. So according to the parts book, I put it out in my car already. According to the parts book, the cigarette lighter that I have in there is for older series, or I'm sorry, the newer series of serial numbers for my model, the BX1850. This is a lot different. It's actually better. It's actually cheaper. See how that is flexible, and it's a softer rubber. So I think that's going to actually work better than the one that was in the original Fender set. The original Fender set had a power port that you can, it's rigid. As a matter of fact, it broke right there. But this is like a two-piece item. There's a black plastic surrounding with a insert that has the connectors on the back, and it looks to me like you would push in the black plastic, and then once you push that in, you would push the metal part in second, and it doesn't seem to be able to be removed without breaking it. So I just went ahead and was proactive and ordered a new one. Well, I put the cowling on. This bonnet is new here. You can see it's not broken. Not broken on the other side. I had one knob. When the other side broke, the knob came loose and got lost somewhere. I installed this rather easy. It's just simple. You loosen these two bolts. There are some slides back here. You slide it into place, tighten the two, and it's good and secure. It looks good. Man, oh days does it look good. My tractor was always had a broken cowling around it, and this tractor ain't gonna know how to act with that new cowling. Looks really good. I'm excited. I went over and when I take the hood off, I loosen these 4 screws, 2 here, 2 on the opposite side, and the other thing you got to do. So another step here. So we line it up, twist it that way. Now the originals that were in there were a halogen bulb. One thing about halogen bulbs, when you put a new one in, you don't want to touch the bulb with your oily fingers. Even when your fingers are dry, there's an oil on them, and that oil will damage the light bulb. So that's it. Looks good. I'm gonna clean these lenses up with some flits. Not today. I gotta buy some flits first. So exciting. I'm gonna clean that hood a little bit. But man, it's amazing how much now the hood isn't as dull as the original cowling around the engine, but it is dull compared to the new one. Oh well. So just another step. The next thing I'm going to do is, man, I'm telling you folks, if you get a BX and it doesn't come standard with a grill guard, buy one. They're $100, $150, I don't know. But, and I know you can, oh look there, I found the extra one. I found one. Well, I got a spare. So, man, these grill guards are heavy. So the next thing I'm going to do is put the grill guard on. It's held in place by 4 bolts. These two. I might try something a little different this time. I might try this one and this one and see if it's easier to get it on and off, because that bottom bolt is a pain in the keister. So I'm gonna install that grill guard, and I'll be back.